So this episode was basically Megan versus everyone. And of course, the mastermind behind this coordinated attack was none other than Blue. Now, to be fair, I feel like the general consensus is that Megan has been acting differently since she's been in there. In her first stint, she was a hothead. She was very much, one of the head honchos in the Mean Girl crew with Meg. Blonde Meg, of course. I'm talking about brunette Meg. But now she's come in, she's not really getting involved in the drama. She's not begging Meg like she automatically would the last time she was here. And I've seen people be like, well, don't be fooled by it. Like, she's this insidious mastermind. I don't think she's this insidious mastermind, but is she calculated? Yes. Personally, as somebody who's supporting women's business, I'm not necessarily mad at it. She clocked it. She knew she was acting crazy, and she knows if she's gonna come in the second time and be successful, she needs to not be with the mean girl shenanigans. And now she's acting accordingly. I can't be mad at her for fixing up her PR. And considering how bad this cast is, was Megan the worst? No, I was actually sad that she left because at least she was bringing some mess. She did bring the drama to the show. She did what she needed to do. Let her rest. Let her rest. God forbid a messy bitch takes a break. Obviously, as I was saying, messy Blue, always in women's business. I feel like the other people have been thinking it. And there's been whispers here and there, like Megan's been acting different. But Blue's the one who plants the seeds for the coordinated attack. And of course, the first people that he goes to is the boys, wanting it to get back to Connor. And personally, I just feel like Blue is very much disingenuous. He was barely there the first time he was there, and it's not like he really cares about Connor. I honestly feel like he's jealous that him and her have been given the same opportunity, and she's here flourishing and he's here struggling. So he's now decided he's going to drag her down with him. But the first thing he mentions is that basically her and Tommy were speaking on the outside. And obviously that's not a good look, considering she's come back in all eyes for Connor, wearing his bracelet, the full shebang, but yet she was entertaining Tommy. And also bearing in mind, Tommy came out with a whole nother babe, Lucy. Obviously, we don't know when Megan was told that she had an opportunity to come back on the show, but I don't think it would be a surprise that her and Tommy were speaking. Him and Lucy were early days, they spent a lot of time together. So them speaking wouldn't really be much of a surprise. But yeah, Blue was basically spilling all the tea, saying that they were talking on the outside and that Meg was fuming that Lucy and Tommy were together. And then he also brings up, well, she's also been acting different. She doesn't want to get involved in the drama. And obviously she's been out on the outside, so she knows what the public opinion is. So it's very clear that she's playing a game here. And the boys are eating it up and they're like, yeah. And I'm just thinking, the boys, is Blue really a credible source? Is he a credible source? Is he someone we should be taking seriously? What are Blue's motives here? Essentially, his information was credible, but what are Blue's motives here? So the fact that the boys are ready to jump on board is very much giving that they're here for the sabotage, because Meg and Connor have been going so well, especially Harry and Shakira. He knows that they're an unstable couple. He's not really sure how the public is going to react. Him taking the chance to meddle in Connor and Megan's relationship, of course he's going to jump at that. And of course Dijon's going to do that as well, because he's a strategic person as well. You see how, Dijon and Harry were kind of, in this uncertainty of their friendship, whether they can rely on each other, whether they can trust each other. And you see how now they're coming together to now meddle in Connor's relationship. You see what brings them together? So of course the boys are whispering, and then they're now tag teaming with the Mean Girl crew, Meg and Angel and Helena. And now they're basically saying the switch up is crazy. She never backs me anymore. The way Shakira was talking about me was crazy and she never said anything. It's giving fake and I don't like it. Then Helena basically snitches on Megan, basically saying that Megan made a sly dig, basically saying they're not going to bring any bombshells in because Meg's going to scare them away. Just adding more fuel to the fire. But anyway, the boys then now inform on Connor, and Connor's already kind of suspicious and clocking them after the whole business with Shakira and Harrison. And he's basically like, what has that got to do with me? Like, I don't really care about this. Like, her speaking to Tommy on the outside when Tommy is with Lucy, like, I don't see how this is a pressing issue for me. We're in here, we're going well. So, I don't really know why you're coming to me with this information. So Connor goes back to Meg now, and he's just like, I'm not a cop. Like, this is what it is. This is what they told me. I'm not really fussed about it. And, just be wary that people in this house will come and meddle with relationships for their own ulterior motive. So Connor takes it really well and takes it very maturely. And yeah, I think he handled it really well. Obviously, he really likes Megan. So yeah, he doesn't really care. I mean, they're not exclusive. They're not boyfriend and girlfriend. So why would he be pressed about Tommy on the outside? He took him on in the house, and he could probably take him on the outside. And if it was the other way around, Connor knows he would probably be doing the same thing, entertaining past connections that he had. Megan, though, is not unsurprisingly immediately defensive. She's trying to defend herself, and she's basically like, I was talking to Tommy, but we had a thing and it didn't go anywhere. He's with Lucy now, and Lucy was provoking me. She was calling me a slapper. So yeah, I was kind of pissed off that I saw them in the club together and she intentionally kissed him in front of me. Like, yeah, I did feel a type of way about it, but obviously I've come in for you and I like you, blah blah blah. Her explanation was like all over the place, and to be honest, it was giving guilty. But Connor was basically like, I don't really care what these other people have to say. But at this point, you can kind of see that Megan is kind of panicking now, because she's like, oh my God, they're onto me. I've been clocked. Because Megan's whole stance was she's coming for Connor. She's been waiting for Connor. But her now entertaining Tommy kind of, ruins the PR for that narrative. And now she's kind of finding out that the other girls think that she's fake now. And she's just like, oh my God, like, I thought that my PR was better than this, but now they're clocking me. So now it's time for her to be confronted by the girls. And the girls are straight up and they're like, basically, you're a bit fake. It's a bit weird. The first time you were here, you were always backing me. Now that we're here, you're not backing me. And it just comes across like you're being a bit fake. And she's trying to say, oh, it's just because I haven't been here. I haven't watched the show, so I don't want to get involved. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, I just feel like it's not my place to get involved because I honestly haven't watched the show. And the Mean Girl crew, they're not buying it. And personally, I don't buy it either. Meg is absolutely lying. She's absolutely watched the show, but she knows what the public perception is. She knows that the Mean Girl crew was not a good look for her. And she knows what Shakira and Tony are saying. All right, Meg is a hypocrite. She does talk shit behind people's back. She has been making mean comments. And I think it's just one of those things where I think Meg honestly forgets the mean things that she says. Or maybe she's just actively delusional. Like, some people are like that. Like, they just can't admit that they're a bad person and always have to position themselves as the victim. So yeah, the Mean Girls are basically like, it's not adding up. It's not making sense. And I feel like Megan is just like, I look so guilty right now. What can I do to save myself from this interrogation? Let me pull the waterworks. And that's exactly what she does. She starts crying. And honestly, that was funny to me because you know what? Fair play. Sometimes you just got to pull the waterworks. And it absolutely worked. Suddenly they were backing down. They were like, oh no, I don't want you to be upset. It's just like, this is where I'm coming from. But, we're best friends and, all this stuff. And it worked. I'm sure they're going to be best friends by the next episode. Is she now going to start piping up at Shakira and Tony? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. But like I said, there's not much time left. How many more arguments are we going to see? We'll see. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that Meg has gotten away with it for now. But I do think people are side-eyeing her. But I think it'll be interesting to see how she moves next. And what perception does she care most about? Does she care about her perception in the house more? Or does she care about her perception in the public more? Because what her peers think about her in the villa, that's not going to pay her bills. It's the public that's going to pay her bills. So I think it's quite interesting to see what's going to happen moving forward. But what do you think about the whole situation? Do you think them ganging up on her was uncalled for? Or do you feel like they had valid concerns and had every right to confront her on them? And what do you think about Blue getting involved in women's business, getting involved in this Meg situation? Do you think he was being a good friend, or do you just feel like he was just being a messy bitch? I gotta